Oi, gente. Are you ready to vibe? Let's go. So, Vibe is a podcast that we're going to show you the behind the scenes of the biggest event of the planet from a female perspective. So, if you like this kind of content and are you curious about it, let's vibe with us. Oi, gente! Let's vibe again. So I'm here today receiving Tatiana Flores. And Tatiana is an amazing professional that she works with behind the scenes of big events in Common Ball, CAF, Africa, and a lot of things. She knows better about her career than me, so she will talk about it right now. So Tatiana Flores, welcome. Thank you so much to be here.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for the invitation. For me, it's a pleasure to be here. WiBE is a project that we all love. So, my career. Let's say, how should I start? I start my career in government, Brazilian government. I worked with them for 15 years, and then we had Rio 2016 and FIFA World Cup 2014 coming to Brazil, and we decided to open up an area in the government focused on sports tourism. So from that, it was everything started. I started doing university games and Rio 2016 volleyball competitions, and then I jumped for Comebol football area. Then I did FIFA in Qatar. When we met. Then I changed for Africa. So I was working for African Football Federation. In the middle of this time, I also did Formula One. One of a different event that I did, it was not involved in sports area. It was COP16. And then now I came back for sports events, and now in a totally different area that is esports world. I never worked with esports before, and it's been kind of a surprise how it is. So this is like general what I did in the last 13 years.
Yeah, but you missed it that we met in Australia.
Yes, of course! FIFA Women's World Cup! Oh my God. And it was an amazing...
That was the last time we met in person.
Yes, and guys, I was doing arrivals and departures, and I was receiving the VIPs and the teams, and I organized a special welcome to her with her name and etc. Everything was very organized to welcome her in the airport, so it was very cool.
It was nice. I was feeling so important just arrive in Australia and have someone with my name cheering that I was arrived. So I was really emotional. That was great, and thank you so much.
Yes.
It was amazing. So from that big career and all of these events around the world, which one is, the one that's more special for you, that have a special place in your heart for it? And what happened there to just give you that place in your ranking of the biggest event and more?
I think I should say Rio 2016 because it was the first event for all of us. I always liked the sports. I always watch football in the television with my father, and it was something that I always had a passion. Galo doido, Atlético Mineiro. But I liked sports, but I never thought to work with sports. And with this opportunity, I also need to say that when I start, someone that was very important in my career, it was a woman, Marise Carrijo. She was the one that trusted on me, and she told me, okay, we are here in the city hall. You are thinking about sport tourism. How we will do it? Organize for me a project and let's go. So Rio 2016, it was the first one that we decided to do. The focus on Uberlândia, it was in Rio 2016. Of course, we had opportunity to bring Honduras to train in Uberlândia for the World Cup, but in the end didn't happen. But Rio 2016, it was our focus, and we got 4 teams to train in there.
Okay.
Irlanda, sorry. Ireland, Belgium, Serbia, and Egypt. They training in Brazil, in Uberlândia
Uberlândia.
for the Rio 2016. So the event that I can say that was the beginning of all my career, and
It
it's
was
in
the
my
big,
heart, is
yes.
Rio 2016 for sure.
That's nice. So, but you have a career and you work in different areas, right? That's not only you did transportation and you did VIP, hospitality, VIP, protocol. No, right? You had a lot
Yes,
of protocol. You did protocol as well,
I'm doing.
because right now. So, tell us a little bit about all this kind of all this type of areas and what's the difference between them.
Okay,
And if you
so
can tell about something interesting, that's something they say, oh, that in VVIP we do it, or in so the difference. So think about it.
yeah, let's think about it. So I started in general area when I was doing Rio 2016, but then when I started in football for Comebol, I was doing commercial rights and sponsorship. So I was responsible to organize everything related to the sponsors in the field, everything related to activation of the guests that go to the field before the match to stay more close to the players, and all the restroom we need to organize because we have one brand that need to be showed over there. So this was my part when I was working for Comebol, commercial rights. That is super cool. I really like it.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's a very competitive area if you think about FIFA. And I had a dream to work for FIFA.
Okay.
And so what it was my strategy? I knew that it was very competitive area to go in commercial rights and transport at the same time. No one wants to do transport.
Okay.
No
Was it
one, because it's a
strategic?
very hard area.
Oh, yeah.
You work a lot. No one actually support you. Like everybody complains if the car is late and if the traffic is not good, but no one is like focused on transport itself, only in the bad times. So no one wanted to join transport. So what I thought, let's try to go to FIFA, work in transport area.
Okay.
So I applied for some positions in transport and I got the job. I started in Qatar doing arrivals and departures, but it was focused on the transportation. It's in general. And I stay working with transport for 3 to 4 years. And then I had the opportunity to jump a little in the VIP and VVIP environment, because I started in Qatar and then I went to Formula One. And Formula One was mainly focused on VIPs. And I like it to do VIPs because it's kind of interesting to have a perspective to work with them and to see, like, I will not lie, like it's good to have the celebrities close to you and organize the transport for them and etc. It's kind of interesting. So inside transport, I started to work more in VIP concept.
Okay.
And then from it, I received a proposal to go to CAF to manage the guest management area and protocol.
Okay.
For me, it was a huge challenge because I was in a different country, in a different continent, in totally different culture, and it was not my comfort zone. It was the first time that I was working in guest management, and I was managing the area. So I forgot what you asked.
It was right there about your
Sorry,
career.
I was talking about
it's
different topics.
But that was the point. I just asked you about the different areas that you work and which kind of things every area do. So it's okay.
Okay.
So was
Yeah, so
you're still with the best.
yeah, so basically in transport, inside transport, you have different areas. You have arrivals and departures in the airport. You have parking and traffic.
But is this in general or only for VIP and VVIP guests? Or are you talking about the athletes? Are you in the players? Are you talking
all
about
separated.
Oh yeah.
So for example, my focus in the Formula One, for example, I was doing VIP parking for the hospitality area.
Okay.
So I received a lot of players and etc. And I guide them and score them into the hospitality area. We also moved them from the parking area to paddock. And then in paddock, you have another group that will be working over there. And then we have the one transport area dedicated for the teams itself.
Okay.
And then, for example, in football, we have another team that dedicated for the clubs and the players and etc.
Uh-huh.
And we also have the fans, the general fans, that you have the buses, the metro, and etc. So it's all separated inside transport.
Okay.
My focus was mainly in the VIPs, so it was not so hard as the other transport colleagues. And in terms of guest management, I started in CAF last year, and when I finished AFCON, it's the Africa Cup, that it was in Morocco in January. When I finished it, I received the proposal to go to this event now that I'm doing, Esports World Cup, also in guest management and protocol. So
Okay.
for me, it's kind of a new area, but it's been good. I'm enjoying.
You like
I'm
it?
enjoying a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. But I need to say that the one that is in my heart,
Uh-huh.
it's commercial rights and
Okay.
sponsorship, because I like football. It's something that I really like. So in Comebol, I was in the field with the players, and
That's nice.
it's a different atmosphere.
And you have the ball as well, the tournament ball that's from
Yes,
you deal with
yes,
that, right?
yes.
To just put that in the middle of it before to take pictures before the match started. How is that?
Exactly. We have
from
many
that area.
sponsors that they have these rights. So we have the one that will put the ball in the totem. You also have the escort kids, that for me is the best.
Yeah.
The best activation is the escort kids, because you can see like how they are excited to be close to the players. And you asked about a funny thing. It's interesting because when you are doing escort kids, when you are in the television, you don't know about it. But of course, there is a time, there is a protocol to organize the kids. You need to organize the size of the kids with the size of the players. You need to organize everything. And it's very important that in the end of the anthem, the kids start to leave. And sometimes when I'm watching the match, something like that, they wrong in the protocol because the kids stay there. And I was thinking about my colleagues in the field, like, come. Because this happened with me in Copa America. I was with a kid, and she was delivering the ball to the referee. And then she needed to leave the field, but she stayed there. And all the players come, and she was like, with all the players, and she stayed with the referee, and she started to laugh to them, and I was like in the corner, come, and she was like, doing like this, and then she stopped it for the pictures with all the media in front of her, and she was like that. Copa America, it was a
hilarious situation.
Yes. And then in the end, this kid was so happy, and she said, "Oh, it was the best day of my life." So it's something that I almost wanted to kill her, but in the end,
but then she was happy.
Good.
That was nice.
Exactly.
That's great. That's great. That's good. Okay. And talk me about numbers, from these tournaments, about transportation, how many cars, how many drivers, and how much hours work. Because I remember that you're working almost 24 hours a day because never stops. People arriving and planes and everything. But at the same time, we had, I don't know, in the protocols, VIP and VVIP, how many people you have to deal. So it's about numbers, big numbers, right? When you working with these different areas.
Yes. If I'm talking about Formula One, for example, that it was the last one that I did in transport, I was managing 200 drivers, and all of them men. It was like just me as a woman managing all of them. This is also something that is a challenge for them to respect you and etc. So let's say Formula One, we had 200 drivers. Part of it, they were in shuttle systems. Part of them, it was dedicated drivers and for the VVIPs. Um, I worked the last Formula One 18 hours straight. So we
It's hard.
started very earlier and we finished very late, especially because our guests wanted to enjoy as much as possible in the
Okay.
hospitality, so they stay until last minute. If I'm talking about Qatar, if I'm not wrong, we deal with 33 buses per route, and we were responsible of 4 routes, meaning more than 120 vehicles available for us during the arrivals and departures. But my operation, it was small compared to
The
the
bigger
other, because we also had shuttles for the competitions and for the stadiums itself. I was focused on the airport. So we had a fleet for the cruise because it was working as a hotel. We had the shuttles for an area that I now forgot the name, but it was mainly dedicated for Argentinians.
Okay.
Because they were staying, all of them, they were staying there, all the fans. Al Janub area,
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
think it was Al Janub. And in total, we manage a lot of people, more than, I don't know, to be honest. I can't say now the proper big amount of fans that we received in Qatar, but it was a huge numbers, because Qatar, it was a great experience because you could see many matches at the same day.
Yes.
So I
All
think
of them was
we will
for
never have
this
this
before.
before.
And again, we're
So
gonna never have it. It was,
yeah.
I guess, 40 minutes between one stadium and another. So we deliver hours in our stadium. Then we can just help friends in the other. Oh,
This is something interesting, because in Qatar, like, I bought 3 tickets, but I watched 10 matches. And people was asking me, oh, how you did it? And I said, oh, because I have friends. So we had a group, like women's in Qatar, and someone put it like, oh, I have a ticket for the match in 30 minutes. Anyone available? And I was like, oh, okay, because my times in the airport was like crazy times. So during the day I was available. And with this opportunity, I had chance to see different matches, and something that I really, really, really need to say thank you to Brenda. It's because in the final, a lot of Argentinians was buying tickets like $10,000 and etc. And then she called me 30 minutes before the match and she said, Tati, I have a ticket for the final. Do you want to go? And I was like,
what?
are you serious?
Sometimes you have tickets. This is not always, guys. Come on. And
I-
when we have,
Yeah, but
we
when
offer, you know.
when she told me like, yes, I'm talking serious, and I said, no, you are not. It's the final. And she said, yes, I have a ticket. Do you want or not? And of course I want. And I was in a cafe with 2 colleagues, and I just jumped in a taxi, and I was running, and in the end it was good because I also met Livia inside the stadium. It was I think I never had an experience like that in my life. It was amazing. Thank you so much, Brenda. It was amazing. A final World Cup, like France against Argentina in Qatar. That spectacle that they did in the end.
Yes.
It was
It was an
amazing.
endless match.
Yes.
I was outside working that match, and then every time, okay, it's about 2 minutes, and then score, and then more time, and extra time, and then penalty. Was crazy. It was
Yeah.
an endless match. It was crazy, and we have
Yeah.
it today, I guess. Again, right? No,
Today
Today
is
Spain. I
France
always
and
it was-
Spain.
yes,
Let's
it's
see
France and
how it
Spain.
will be. Maybe we will have again in the final France and Argentina.
We
Let's see.
never know. So going back about protocol and going deep inside of it, how is the challenge to receive, I don't know, a president or a royal family for any country, and in protocols in these big events? Do you have something that is completely specific or different from the normal day? Or tell us a little bit more.
I think it's more related to security issues. So security is more involved, of course. So, for example, I will say like AFCON that happened a few months ago in Morocco. And the first, in the opening ceremony, the prince attended the match. And before the beginning of the match. Of course, they locked the area, and I was trying to access the royal area, and they were just blocking me. And we had many meetings before. I knew the security and everything, but at the time they just didn't allow me to enter. So I needed to call the security guy from the royal family, and he said, "No, I'm in the royal house. I'm on the way, but ask someone to support you," and gave me a name, and I was looking for this person. So it took me like 30 minutes to
Okay.
enter the royal area. And as soon as you are there, you cannot leave.
Oh,
So I organized all my operations with my team in guest management. I could not go to VVIP or VIP area. As soon as I entered the royal area, I
that's
needed to
it.
stay there. And all the operations I was leading, I needed to trust on my team because I needed to stay there. And then we did a different because AFCON, the Prince, they went to the field to start the
The
match
match.
itself.
Okay.
So it was something that we never did, and I believe CAF never did also. It was something new for us. And in the closing ceremony, a part of the one representative from the royal family, we also had the president of Rwanda. So he went with like normally this kind of government and royal families and president and etc. They came with a huge staff. So it was more than 14 people with him, plus the people involved in the royal family. And something funny for the royal family is that in the opening it was raining, and all the guards they needed to stay up in the
No matter what.
raining, and they were like that. And it was like something that I never saw. They stirred like all
Completely right.
wet and in the same position and waiting for the prince, and the prince delayed like some 30 to 40 minutes, and they
Okay.
stay in the raining like in the same position. So this kind of situations that is interesting, and is something for me it's interesting. Sorry, I'm saying a lot of interesting. uh
Because it is really interesting. So thank
something
you.
that is curious. For example, for me it was of course I was glad to receive an important person and etc, but I didn't know him, I didn't know who it was. And when I told for some colleagues, Moroccan colleagues, that I was with the prince, and they said, "Really, how honored are you?" and etc. And for me it was like a normal operation. So sometimes it's funny because we had this job that is so interesting, not only for us, but for the others. And it's something that you do in your life, and you want money for it, and you are like enjoying at the same time. Of course, we have many challenges. Sometimes it's not easy. We need to work a lot. We stay stressful and etc. But I really love what I do because sport events is a kind of the best word
Yeah.
for me, at least.
It's an
So
environment. It's
I'm
a good.
really glad to be in this universe.
That's nice.
Universe.
The universe. Yes. And do you have a quite interesting strategy to get there, right? How
Mm.
was it to just understand LinkedIn and everything for that?
Oh
And
yeah.
yes, and tell people who want to, start to work with big events, what they should do and what you did to just be relevant and be seeing and knowing for these people who hired, all around. Because you worked in Saudi, Riyadh, Qatar, and in many other countries from a strategy because you decided that what you wanted. You studied for that. You went to Finland to study that. So different from many of us, we life appear, but you have a goal. You study. You did a master, and so what was the strategy behind it, and what you did to achieve the goals and the career that you have now?
Okay. So when I decided to leave the city hall, all my friends and family stayed shocked because normally in Brazil, when you enter in a public position, you will not be fired. So everybody wants to be in this position. And when I told my friends I'm leaving, they said, "What? And I said, no, I'm not happy. I want to work with sport events. And as I had this opportunity to focus on Rio 2016, something that I heard a lot, it was, oh, but you did physical education, you are involved in sports somehow. And I said, no, I did business and marketing. It's not a related area, but, and as I needed to explain all the time about it, what was my involved in terms of studies with this area, I decided to go to Finland to do my master degree in sports business management, because I put in my mind, no one else can ask me, why are you involved in sports somehow or not? So my studies will guide me to this direction. So in Finland, I decide when I came back to Brazil, I decided to focus on sports area, and I did a course focus on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, it was in 2019 to 20. It was the main platform that you got job opportunities and etc. So I did a course for be more involved, and it's like you work with the algorithm. You need to post in that day, that time. You need to. It's hard. Find a job, it's hard. It's not so easy like people think. And then I was doing like every single day, is I spent like 3 to 4 hours minimum per day using LinkedIn. And this brought me like nowadays I have 17,000 followers. Since 2020, all my job offers came through LinkedIn. Especially CONMEBOL, a lot of people ask me about how did you start in CONMEBOL? It was through LinkedIn. How did you work for CAF? It was LinkedIn. Formula One, LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is something that is very powerful if you know how to use it. And I receive every single week, I receive a lot of messages from different people asking me, how did you start, and etc. First thing, you need to put something in your mind and you go for it. The first thing. And then if you want to start to work in sport events, I know that is kind of cliche, but start doing as a volunteer. And in Brazil and South America, maybe we don't have this mentality.
Yes.
But in Europe, it's kind of famous also. So the first approach that you have in an event, you cannot think that you will start as a manager. First, you will start as a volunteer, then assistant, then a coordinator, supervisor. I think this is the process. Of course, some nationalities, they have different minds, that they believe that they need to go straight in the manager position and etc. But it's kind of one in the
Yeah,
all the
it
amount.
happens, but it's not with
Yeah.
everybody and all the just like all the other kind of marketing.
Yeah, I think you need to focus and create some strategy. As I created, I wanted to work for FIFA. It was hard to join as a commercial right, so let's join as a transport.
Mhm.
And then, as soon as I was in transport, I saw a door that could be moved to gas management. Let's go to
Yeah,
gas management.
uh-huh.
And now I'm in this area, and I really want to come back to commercial rights because I like it, but let's see how it will be.
Okay, so that's quite interesting. And for you, so commercial rights is the what makes your heart beat, right? So that's why you want to stay there because of kids and balls and everything. But from your whole career, which event was the most challenging and why? What you had to face
Is
on
the
it?
one that I'm doing right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Uh,
And just explain it's the first time that you're doing sports,
Sports,
so it's
yeah.
completely different. So she did Olympics and World Cup and everything, but do esports, it's for me it's completely different, but it's huge.
Yes.
Right? They have big arenas playing over there. It's huge, and the sponsors and the players and people know the players, and it's completely for me a world apart. That's new.
Yeah, the
right?
prize is $75 million.
Oh,
It's like a huge amount of money. and they have many sponsors, like the arenas that we have over there. We have 4 arenas for 4,000 people each one. The For the closing ceremony, for example, we will probably receive some celebrities like Cristiano Ronaldo. He is always involved with the event.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the Prince is also coming to attend the event. So it's a huge atmosphere. They are kind of new because they started on 2023, if I'm not wrong. So it's something that's 2024. So it's the third edition of the event. And this year they will also have the Esports Nation Cup that will go in November. And it's a totally different approach from the other events that I did. To be honest, I'm not an expert in the esports. I know Valorant, League of Legends, and etc.,
Okay.
but it's not something that I can say properly. But in the end, it's like the guests that we have, that the profiles are kind of the same. We have football players, we have basketball players, we have the Magnus Carlsen, that is our ambassador, and
Okay.
he plays chess. He's the world champion guy, and it was interesting because yesterday
Yeah,
we
we
were
saw
watching
it.
the football match. It was Norway against
England.
England, and Magnus Carlsen was there, and I know him. He's my guest.
That's why he's not here now.
Yes. Because of this, I needed to find a flight for him the last minute to change from one destination to another one. Like, because when you deal with VIPs, it's kind of last minute all the time, and they want to change, and they want to follow their minds, and that's it. And you just need to go with the flow. You cannot say, no, please inform me 48 hours in advance. No, I want now, and I need
And that's
now.
it. Just
And
make it
that's it.
happen.
And you need to organize everything based on it. So for me, the challenge now in this project is also because we deal with different kind of profiles. We work with international people, and some of the nationalities, they have their mentality, and the way that they think is like that way. You can try to change their mind and say, "No, let's try to do this, and that." But if they had in their minds that the way that they do works,
That's it.
that's it. They will not change.
You need to change. You need to just be there and understand their culture and just make yourself flexible to understand, even though you know that a different way works better. And sometimes you have this kind of resistance, right?
Exactly. So I need to say that some of the events that I work in specifically nationalities are very demanding and very hard. But at the same time, I learned a lot, because you need to be flexible in not being flexible, because you need to follow their mind, but you need to be flexible to attend their expectations. And sometimes it's very hard, but in the end, everything goes well.
Okay. So you have three different areas: transportation, and then guest management, and VIP and VVIP, and
Commercial
and
rights and
commercial rights. So
sponsorship.
which kind of advice you give to people who want to join one of these three? I don't know. Transportation needs to be passionate about Excel and spreadsheet and everything. And maybe commercial rights, I don't know, about and guest management, so which kind of things it's needed and demanding to go and be good and happy, because I guess we do what we do because we love it, because it's amazing, because we had fun at the end, even though in the middle of you get crazy and tired and a lot of things, but at the end we have fun. It's amazing to just end the event, end the starting of an event, just deliver it and see everything ready and beautiful and amazing, and all the works and every challenge that we had before just there delivered and people. So
Yeah, to work with transport, you need to be patient a
okay.
lot. And also, as you said, like Excel, and be very detailed in the planning. at the same time, sponsorship and commercial rights, you also need to be very detailed, because the position that you put the ball and you show the brand here need to be very focused on the camera. If you put something different, the brand will complain with you. So we, for example, commercial rights, you need to organize the restrooms, you need to organize the activations in the field before the match. You need to organize the escort kids, like the t-shirts that they will use with the brand need to be very organized because they will be in the camera. So all of these you need to go in deep details. Guest management, you need to be patient, because you deal with high profile people that, as I said, want to do what they want and in the
And
time that they
now,
want. So you also need to be patient and be very focused on what you are doing, because sometimes, of course, we deal with celebrities, so sometimes you are with a fan and you cannot say like, oh, can I hug you? No, you can't. So like, you need to be professional and focus on it, but at the same time, very discreet. I can say discreet, because you need to organize the areas with it. So the advice that I would say to people that want to involve to work in this area, uh, sports events is a big area, but at the same time is not, because networking is everything. Everybody knows everybody. For example, Liana, that it was here doing the podcast. I never saw her, but I heard about her many, many times. Sometimes we tried to meet in Saudi Arabia. It didn't happen, but today we met. So everybody knows everybody. It's a big word, but at the same time is a small word. And network is everything, because when you are in the operation, for example, guest management is very related to security. If you don't have a good approach with security team, if you are not very open mind for some situations
You're
that are
gonna
happening,
suffer.
yes, you need to be flexible. You need to, and I think for us Brazilians is something that is very important, and it comes from our personality, because we
Yes.
are open, we like to work together, and we are like happy working, so we are like polite and etc. Of course other nationalities too, but as we are open, we do a lot of friends in the field,
Yes.
and friends is the ones that will support you on site, because you always need someone else to support you. Working as a team is something that is very important in every area. So the advice that I would give is like, try to start to study, focus in the area that you want. If you see that, for example, the area that you want is kind of hard, try to go to a different
Well,
strategy, like, oh, I will join this area first, I will stay like 2 years working on it, and then I will do the connections, and I will establish my networking with them, and then I will change, because it was what I did. I knew that it was hard to jump straight to guest management or something like that, but then I started to find a way to meet people, because network is everything.
I guess the main point is about be there, be seen,
Yes.
and then from there you get connections. From there, people will know you, will remember your face, will remember how helpful you were, or how happy and delivered. So the main point is to be there
Yeah.
in somehow, right? So, and about connections, just like we are talking about Liana, I didn't know Liana know Cacau, and then Cacau invited Liana to participate, and she flew from Portugal here to participate live at the podcast, which is amazing. So she finally met Tati, and she finally met Angelica, that is here as well today. So they met each other in Tainá. So it's amazing to have everybody connected at the same time, and we supporting each other no matter where, no matter with what, right? So that is really great to have, and then I'm glad to have and to be part of this huge
Yes.
community and build it in a
And we
great
had
way.
so many interesting conversation, because as we are talking with Angel, like, it's something interesting, because we know each other, but we actually didn't know what each one is doing. So it's good, the podcast, that now we can learn a little more about our friends and our colleagues. And something that is also funny is that in this universe we have like the very important topics and very like making decisions very important. For example, you have a budget of 8 million to organize all the transportation, and then you receive the quotation, 3 different quotations with 16, 19 and 21 million.
And
How you will reduce? How you will reduce from 21 million to 8 million without losing quality in the services? So you go from this, like it's very demanding and you need to think about how you will solve this situation, to a very random situations when you are organizing the vests after the match, organizes the player's vest, and you suddenly find like Caleri underwear. So like, what is this? You go from a point that you need to focus all your energy to define a budget that you need to reduce 50%,
and
to another one to find an underwear in the middle of the vests.
Okay.
So this universe is kind of a very
freaking interesting. Oh, that's amazing. So we are going to an end now. And so thank you so much to be here. And I have one question more. What means vibe for you now? Do you know?
Vibe for me is everything. Because when you talk about women in big events, we are talking about us.
Yeah.
And Mulheres in Qatar, it was a group that we started this, but also, of course, each one of us has a small groups that women support each other. And for me specifically, when I met Livia and Brenda in Qatar, after it we develop a group. And sometimes I'm so upset with some situation in the work, that something that didn't happen in the good way. You start to think, oh, I'm doing the right, I'm in the correct place. You start to doubt about your abilities, because as women we need to prove ourselves every single day, 3 times more than men. So when I start to think about it, I go to Mulheres in Qatar group, I go to Doha girls group, and all the time I have the woman support. And I think vibe is it. We are women supporting each other and going through the sport events. When we see some position that we believe that will fit in another profile, a colleague, we put it there. So it's like a woman supporting woman, and for me this is amazing.
That is great. Thank you so much. So that's what Vibe is about, women supporting women and women just showing what they did around the world. And the main point is Women in Big Events is a podcast to talking from a female, from a women perspective about the behind the scenes of the biggest event in the planet. So if you want to know more about this behind the scenes, all the management and the planning and trick stories and curiosity and a lot of great things, just came and let's vibe with us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tati.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.